Hey everybody, it's Mr. Hasquin, and I'm back with more things you should know just by being alive. And today I want to talk about Abigail Adams. She's one of the most influential women in early American history. She just wasn't the wife of President John Adams. She was a political thinker, she was an advisor, and a very early advocate for women's rights. And this was all during a time while women weren't expected to have a voice in public life. Abigail was born in 1744 in Massachusetts. Her maiden name was Smith. She had no formal schooling, which was typical for girls at the time, but she read everything that she could. Her letters with John Adams are legendary. They're full of wit and intellect and political commentary. And while he was helping shape the new American government, she was back home managing the farm, raising children, and running the household through the war and through uncertainty. But Abigail wasn't just writing about the crops and the kids. In March 1776, during the height of the American Revolution, Abigail famously wrote to her husband, "Remember the ladies and be more generous and favorable to them than your ancestors." She warned that if women were not given a voice, they too might rebel. And it was a bold statement in a world built entirely by and for men. Now, her husband John just brushed her off as joking, but Abigail wasn't. Abigail believed that liberty and equality should include everyone, not just wealthy white men. While she didn't call herself a feminist, well, because the word didn't exist yet, she absolutely planted the seeds of what would become the women's rights movement. Throughout her life, Abigail wrote extensively on politics, education, and morality. She opposed slavery, she believed in women's education, and saw the hypocrisy in a revolution for liberty that ignored half of the population. She was also an indispensable advisor to her husband, John Adams. He called her my dearest friend and relied heavily on her counsel. In fact, she may have had more political influence than any first lady before Eleanor Roosevelt. Sorry, guys. Ellen. Now, Abigail Adams died in 1818, but her words and examples still resonate for us today. She reminds us that liberty must be inclusive and that speaking up, even from the margins, can shape the course of history. If you've liked what you've heard, if you've learned something new, please like or share or follow this. And I'll be happy to share more stories that connect the past to the present. I do enjoy sharing history. History isn't just names and dates. There's voices in it that still echo with us today. Thanks for watching.